Hey, what's going on? We're just going to dive right into it. So, last couple of days, I've kind of been wrestling with something. It's been heavy on my heart, and I usually don't do stuff like this, but it's been heavy on my heart. And I've been just thinking, like, kind of like asking the Lord, like, how do I address young people in reference to the unfortunate passing of the young rapper recently, XXXTentacion. I have young people hit me up in my DMs. Hey, humble, I really liked his music. He was my idol. How do I go on? I just feel so depressed, etc., etc. And it's like, man, how do we wrestle with this? How do we grow from such a devastating situation? It's devastating when any young person loses their life to an act of violence, but it's more spotlighted, it's more known, it's much more popular when it is a person of mass notoriety. So I just been wrestling heavy, like, man, what do I say to these youth who someone they looked up to was taken way too early. So first and foremost, prayers out to the family of this young rapper, XXXTentacion. And not just, prayers out, no, not just that, but literal prayers. Like, before I did this, I literally prayed for his unborn child. I believe his girlfriend was pregnant, or his ex-girlfriend was pregnant. I prayed for his mom. I prayed for his fans. I prayed for his mom, his fans, and I think those were two. I prayed for his mom, I prayed for his fans, and his family members as well. So first and foremost, prayers. Secondly, there's a time to mourn, there's a time to grieve, and I want to be sensitive to that. However, in today's culture, in this atmosphere, news cycles like that, people's attention leaves like that. So if you do not strike while the iron is hot with a message of importance and impact, then when you do double back around the track when the time presents itself, well, then you may have lost the most important thing necessary for the reception of that information, which is people's attention. So I'm literally praying, like, God, I don't want to be offensive, but there has to be a level of accountability for our community holistically in situations like this, with sensitivity, not meant to disrespect or dishonor anyone. A couple of things that struck me about this situation. One is how young he was through this situation. Only 20 years old, and to lose your life to gun violence at the age of 20. I mean, to lose your life to gun violence at period is devastating. But at the age of 20, just a boy. Two is how people responded to it. Immediate cell phones out. I mean, we've played around with the idea of this culture, this country being desensitized to things, and there's been movies made and comics have made jokes, but I was unaware that it was to this nature, to the point where there is a literal deceased corpse, and we see masses of people videotaping it with their cell phones. Other than providing that information to the proper authorities, I don't understand why someone would do that. I don't understand. Is it that important to try to sell that footage to TMZ? Is it that important to try to get some notoriety off of someone's lifeless shell? Man, I hope that we as a country see that. And I hope that I'm not the only one who's disgusted by that. We are heading towards a place, unfortunately, it looks of no return if we do not put the brakes on. To see someone riddled with bullets in their vehicle and someone's response is, "Ooh, let me get some footage." That's a sad place. And I hope that the country will feel some sort of conviction and remorse for such activities. So that was one thing I wanted to address. Another thing I wanted to address was people who are saying negative things about this young man online, just detestable things that to say about someone. When someone passes away, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Just keep it silent. Say something productive for the community. Say something productive towards society. Say something productive towards this person's life or this person's family. If you don't have anything productive to say, then just keep it mute and keep moving. So to see certain things in comment sections and people saying anything less than it's unfortunate of his passing, anything less than that is it should be unacceptable, and others should rally together as a community and say, no, this is not what we as a hip-hop community about. This is not what we as a country are about. We do not poke fun and laugh at people when a loved one is lost. All things that we should take heavy accountability for. Keep each other accountable. The third thing that was of concern to me, and now we get into some murky water, and I'm going to try to maneuver through these waters as respectful as possible. The hip-hop community, we often advocate death, destruction, gun violence. We go beyond just presenting the facts of reality in our communities, and in some of our communities, violence is prevalent, but we go beyond the presentation of information, be it positive or negative. We go to the glamorization of violence, the sensationalizing of violence, the theater of violence. Why is this important? Because we can't have it both ways. We cannot be in the streets screaming peace, 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 and then literally 1 hour later be in our car at a red light with the top dropped, chanting lyrics that completely contradict the march that we just did an hour ago. Words have power, man. Y'all know I'm a man of faith, so death and life in the power of the tongue. It's hard, man. It's hard to watch some of the hypocrisy that we do. Now, I'm not saying that this young man was part of that hypocrisy. I'm not saying that he wasn't. I'm talking about us holistically as a community. We take, unfortunately, let me not say everybody, but unfortunately, I've seen many times where artists, fans have simultaneously taken pride in the violence of their community. You know, they don't say, man, we had 21 people dead in 3 months. They don't say that with their head held down. They say that like prideful, like boastful, like, y'all only had 4 deaths last month? Man, we had 12. You know what I'm saying? Like it's something to boast about, something to brag about. And then when that violence and negativity is brought to our front door, now it's somebody we love, now it's someone that we mourn, now it's someone that we appreciated. Well, then we get in the streets with the signs, more peace, more peace. I don't think that's the way to go about it. I don't think we can have it both ways. If we're going to draw that line in the sand, we need to keep that line drawn and don't let the waters of cultural trends wash that line away. That's just how I feel about it. We all talking peace right now because a young man was murdered 2 days ago. On the same day, another guy was murdered too. It was another hip-hop artist. Unfortunately, I don't know his name. No disrespect. I want to say it was an artist from the Pennsylvania area. No disrespect. You know, I'm not familiar with him. But this is prevalent. This is all too prevalent. 2 MCs, 2 rappers in one day. If we gonna be out here screaming peace a day after they have been murdered, we should have been screaming peace the day before they got murdered. And if we are screaming peace, then how do we support some other artists in their music that only promotes death? We gotta hold ourselves accountable. We have to demand to be better. We have to want to be better. It can't be this convenient, it's convenient now for us to push positivity, to push love, to push speaking life, appreciating each other. So many things in our culture we want to push when it's convenient. I don't want to spend too much time on that, but these are just some things that hit me as the situation came. Chop it up with me in the comments. Please keep it respectful. Dialogue is healthy. It's healthy when it's respectful, when it's filled with diverse perspectives. So let's chop it up in the comments. Another thing I want to just address is artists from the hood. If you from the hood and you're an artist and you get that money, I know it's difficult. I know you identify with the hood. I know you were born in the hood. I know your family and your friends still in the hood. But if anybody know that the hood is jungle, you know that the hood in the jungle. And I don't care how big and bad of a lion you are, you come to the jungle with raw meat, the jungle gonna jump on you. So if you come to the hood shining, youngins gonna jump on you. And that's unfortunate. That's not right. But unfortunately, we live in a broken world. So I just encourage artists, you get out there, you making your M's, and you go back to the hood. I'm not saying don't go back to the hood, because I'm all about missions. And missions is taking a light to a dark place. So I'm all with that. So I'm never going to say forsake your homeland. Never. But I will say you got to be wise on how you move. You can't be rolling up in that giant dolo. Take a team with you. You know what I'm saying? Just be calculated, be strategic. With your newfound wealth and celebrity also comes certain disciplines you need to enact. And so the days of you just chilling on the block with your youngins, like that, those days are over. You gotta be calculated, you gotta be strategic. Yeah, unfortunately, your movement's gonna have to be a little restricted, but you live, because those hoods that you came from, everybody don't have the appreciation for life that you got. And some of these people want what you got by any means necessary. So for those younger artists, because the older artists typically understand that, but for those younger artists who still feel that connection to the hood, good, keep that connection. They need you to come back in, filter your finances, filter your wisdom, filter better programs into the hood, filter education into the hood, filter motivation into the hood. Yeah, they need you to come back and get that to the hood. But you need to be wise about how you go about doing that. So these are just some of the things that's been going to my head, man. I think we can have a beautiful tomorrow, but you can't have a beautiful tomorrow unless you change today. Point blank, period. So that's my 2 cents on all of that. I hope it wasn't too deep for y'all. Prayers up, man. And if you say prayers to somebody, family, like, don't just say prayers. Like, hit your knees, pray. I'm a man of faith, man, so I'm praying to the King right there. Like, take care of his family, Father. Take care of his son, Lord. Bless his son with an incredible father figure. Lord, bless his ex-girl to raise that boy the way that he's supposed to go and feel comfort. Bless his mother to feel comfort and peace through this situation, God. Like, if they don't know you, Lord, I pray that they do know you. Send a real prayer up. Don't just say it because it's on Facebook and IG and all of that stuff. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Deuce.